Good morning, my lovely friends of Earth. I hope that you're having an amazing day. Today is amazing. It's beautiful out and it's getting close to spring, and I'm feeling very thankful and happy right now. So I wanted to talk about a really cool subject today. Like I say as a disclaimer in all of my videos, all of my Kundalini diary videos anyway, this is only my experience. This is just how things have been happening on my journey of raising the Kundalini, which I do intentionally, by the way. So that's my disclaimer. Your journey could be very different. I don't pretend to know what it is, and I'm not going to tell you what to do. For sure, I would never tell you what to do. But this is what I've experienced, and this is what is helping me on this journey. Let's talk about sex and how the Kundalini rising has affected sex for me, and how I kind of want to give some thoughts, share some thoughts that I have about sex and spirituality and sex and Kundalini. So I'm not going to get too scientific, but the Kundalini energy is the life force energy, and it is sexual, actually. It's a sexual orgasmic energy, and as you feel it raising, you can actually feel that energy kind of twisting, and it does feel orgasmic. And it's interesting because you'll feel like an orgasmic sensation in your left finger. Very weird. I was doing a Kundalini meditation not too long ago, and my head started like vibrating and pulsing, and I was like, I'm gonna have an orgasm in my head right now. That's what's about to happen. And then I was interrupted. I think maybe my daughter came home or something happened, and it just threw me off, and I was unable to achieve that head orgasm. But that is something that just feels very true with Kundalini, that it's an orgasmic, wonderful, blissful, amazing energy that moves through you. It's been my experience so far anyway. So I'm going to talk about sex with my fiance, because he is the man who I've been with for a couple of years now, and that's how long I've been on this intentional Kundalini journey. Actually, my intentional Kundalini raising journey has only been about 3.5 months, and I've been with him for going on 2 years. So he's the one who I'm having these experiences with as my Kundalini energy is raising, and so he's my experience. And sex for me in the past has always been very body, and it's been very influenced by my moods. So when I'm when I was in a bad mood and I wasn't feeling very connected with my partner, sex would suck, and I would feel like my body was doing things with his body. And, I love my fiance, we're very close, but there are times when, for whatever reason, I'm not feeling as connected with him as I want to. And sex during those times just felt like two bodies clashing together. And sometimes I would even feel no sensation whatsoever. And other times when I was feeling really connected with him, sex was good. Like sex should be pleasurable and free and expressive and wonderful. But the sexual experience I always thought was really pleasurable. And it was for where I was at the time. And if I had a scale with one being from where I am now, from this new perspective, now that this Kundalini energy is raising, there's a new way of seeing this scale. The scale goes from 1 to 10, with 1 being painful sex, horrible sex that I wish hadn't happened, to 10 being pure ecstasy and like orgasmic bliss. And I thought that sex before was at like an 8, and I thought that's the experience I was having. And now that this energy is moving around, I realize that I was actually never above like a 6 for like where pleasure can be during sex, how pleasurable it can be. And it's very different now. Whereas before, it just kind of felt like something that I do. and I would feel love for my fiance for sure while we were having sex. I'd feel a loving connection, and it would be nice, pleasant. Then this energy started to move, and I have moments of oneness with him now while we're having sex that has never happened to me before. Feeling like I lose my body in this sort of wave of beautiful bliss, and just being with him energetically, and feeling orgasmic kind of all over my body. And sex has deepened in a way that I didn't know before. It's more emotional and connective, and just has much more meaning to me now. Whereas before it was just a thing, and I used to be into porn, and I used to watch porn with him, and now, like, if I try and watch porn, it's a total turn off. It actually does the opposite for me, which is very interesting, and that was not expected. I turn on porn and I'm like, I can't even watch 30 seconds of this, just total turn off. Not really sure. It just takes away from it for me now. It's not sex, that's something else. I don't know what is going on in porn, but it's not sex. It's acting. It's something else. It's bodies being together in some kind of way that's very life diminishing, and I just am offended by it, which is so weird. Like, my body and my senses are offended by it. I don't care what people are doing. If you want to watch porn, that's cool. And I'm not going to judge anybody who watches it. I'm not going to judge anybody who's in the sex industry. Good for them. It's not something that I can watch anymore. Sex feels sacred now, whereas before I felt like I said, like it was just a thing that my body was doing, and love was sort of separate. Now it feels like I can't even imagine having sex with somebody who I don't love, who I don't have a deep connection with, who doesn't respect me. I could never do that to myself. And it's because there's a respect for the energy, the power that is in sex. I can feel the power even when I'm making love with my fiance. There's a power behind it and in it that flows through me that I can feel, and it's beautiful. And I don't want to share that with just anybody. It feels like if somebody were to come into my life who I didn't know, a stranger that I didn't care about, and there was no respect there, no love, it feels almost like dirty energy would be scraped off onto me, and just feels gross now. It never did before. And like I said, no judgment. What other people do, that's your path, and it's cool. I don't care if people are having sex with 100 people a day. Whatever it is that makes them feel good, it's their journey. It just wouldn't work for me, especially now. Before, I could have done it, and I would have been okay, or I would have thought that I was okay, but really it would have been the same energy being scraped off onto me, that same dirty energy being emptied into me that would have diseased me in my soul and in my emotions, and I just wouldn't have known it before because I wasn't sensitive to it the way that I am now. But sex feels like a sacred energy exchange now. It feels like something that I can choose to use as a powerful thing, a powerful way of bringing myself up, of raising myself up. And it feels like I can also express love to my partner, and he's expressing love to me, and we're sharing ourselves with each other. We're becoming one, as close to oneness as you can get with another human being. That's how sex feels to me now. And it feels like something that I forever only want to share with him. I'm not interested in anybody else. I just want to share that love bubble with him. Because I know he loves me and I love him. There's love there. There's real love there. sex, I've been much more sensitive. So the touch that I enjoy has changed. Whereas before I enjoyed a firmer touch, now it needs to be more gentle. My skin is more sensitive. I just feel more during sex than I've ever felt in my life, and it feels like when I'm on, I have days where I'm like off and I'm not in good moods, and the Kundalini energy is more negative, more causing mood swings, and anger is coming up, and I'm feeling ungrounded, and it just feels like it goes back and forth. The seesaw thing that I talk about in all of my videos, one extreme to the other. It's good, it's bad, it's like straightening itself out and balancing. But with sex, when I'm having an on day, I just feel like me and my fiance are just water. We're just flowing, and like he's in my body and I'm in his body, and it just feels so beautiful, and it feels like it's helping my energy, my Kundalini energy, to rise, and I can actually feel it in my root chakra and my sacral chakra. And then honestly, I know it's like a little bit too much information, but when he orgasms, I can actually feel that energy going up my spine and into my crown. Very strange, almost mystical experience, but very blissful. I can feel his energy going all the way up to my crown. And when I have an orgasm, and maybe it's just because it's female, I don't know, but it feels much more like it's, I guess in my heart, I mean, definitely, of course, in my vagina, but also like sort of in the column that is, the spinal column, mostly in my heart. And it feels like it disperses out and kind of expands. And it's beautiful. And I would hear people say that sex is beautiful before, but I didn't really feel that until this energy started to move through me, and now I can feel the beauty and the sacredness of sex and the love that I have been really wanting and longing for my whole life. I've never felt that before during sex, or even just in life in general, but especially during sex. Sex was like the time that we have sex, and love is the time that we're romantic, and the two don't really have to meet. That was my attitude before. Now it's like sex is happening, so I'm in my heart, and I love you, and it's love all over my body that extends to him, and I'm much more present. I don't feel the need to go into fantasy. That doesn't happen anymore. I'm with him, and I'm feeling him, and I'm not imagining some porn scene or anything like that. It's beautiful and wonderful, and I just wanted to share, and I would love to hear your experiences too. And the sex energy is something that I would like to talk about in a more scientific way, and how it relates to Kundalini, because sex and Kundalini are inseparable, really. There's a whole school of thought, there's all science behind it, and that is amazing, but it goes beyond the scope of my experience and in this video. So I'd like to talk about that and make a video some other time. So, all right, y'all have the best day ever, and I will see you tomorrow. Please email me, leave a comment below, whatever. My email's in the description. I'd love to hear from you. Bye.